Well, I don't know if it's right to call it shenanigans. I think it's a momentous occasion and presents enormous opportunity for a country that has been in dire trouble for a very long time. So I welcome it, as did hundreds of thousands or perhaps millions of other Zimbabweans.
Now, it's called the military intervention a coup. Some said that it's not a coup, it was a soft coup, but some are suggesting that the entire process was illegal. Thoughts on that, as a former judge?
Well, I don't know if you can call it a coup if the action that was taken by the military was against one man, and that one man then sits in front of the cameras and tells the whole world that he's still in charge of the military and that he's going to preside over the ruling party, and then declines to carry out the wishes of the military and the people to stand down. I don't see that as a coup at all. Certainly it's robust military intervention on a political issue, but it can't be a coup because the intention to take over all the structures of the country was absent.
Well, it is a moot point now whether or not it's a coup, but do you think that Robert Mugabe will remain in Zimbabwe?
I really don't know. That's anybody's guess.
Now, he's 94 years.
I think it would be very unsafe for him especially for his wife, to remain in Zimbabwe.
What are the possibilities for him, Judge? He's 94 years old. If he goes, would it be South Africa, or would there be other countries that he would consider that he would go to, or what do you think?
I really don't know. You know, that's a political question, and I'm not a politician. I'm more interested in social justice as regards the future.
Let's take a look at that social justice. Moving forward for Zimbabwe, what are some of the key challenges that they need to address?
Well, the key challenge is this. Our people have never been free from the time Mzilikazi invaded the region. They were not free under Lobengula, they were not free under Cecil John Rhodes, they were not free under British administration, they were not free under Ian Smith, and they certainly have not been free under Robert Mugabe. So the challenge is to free our people for the first time. And we need to understand what freedom means. And if you want me to define that, I'll do that.
Please do, Judge.
Yes, freedom is not what perhaps the EFF in South Africa imagines it is, that it's critical, that assets and money and power determine what is freedom. Freedom is when people feel that they are free. When every human being feels that he or she is realizing his or her potential. So the man that is raising chickens on his farm and successfully selling them at the market is free. He's as free as Strive Masiwa, who is a multimillionaire and a businessman. He's as free as me sitting as a High Court judge, because each of us feels that we have realized our potential in a fair environment.
Now, tomorrow we'll usher in a new interim leader for Zimbabwe. The vice president, who Mugabe sacked, is taking over from him. Emmerson Mnangagwa has been in the military, and he was with Mugabe all the way, and he's, after all, at one time a very close ally of Mugabe. Should one be concerned about this, though?
I think, yes, one cannot help but be concerned. But I give him full marks on the start that he has made. Firstly, can I commend him on giving off-the-cuff impromptu speech using better English than Donald Trump, even though English is not his first language. But more importantly, it's the content of what he said. He ascribed this huge, momentous change to the people. He downplayed the part that was played by the military, and he characterized it as a success for the people of Zimbabwe. And he was inclusive as opposed to exclusive about the way forward. He correctly stated that the success of any socio-economic program was dependent on cooperation with the region, with the continent, and with the rest of the free world. So I give him full marks on that start that he made.
Now, we're asking our viewers today, Judge, would like to pose that question to you. Do you think that Emmerson Mnangagwa can bring about political as well as economic change in Zimbabwe?
Yes, I think he can. You know, he's a highly intelligent human being. He's also educated. And he has a simple choice here. And for an intelligent person, one would think that he would make the right choice. He either is going to perpetuate the oppression of the past, or he's going to respond to the wall-to-wall call for freedom that he has seen our people demonstrate commendably without trashing the place, and give them true freedom, and thereby become an iconic leader. You know, Nelson Mandela had the same challenge when he emerged as the leader of South Africa, and he responded in a highly commendable way. I think Emmerson Mnangagwa has that challenge. And I don't think, just on a common sense basis, why would he want to end up in a situation that has played out before him, hated by everybody in the country and hated by the international community? I don't think that that's a choice that he's going to opt for.
Do you perhaps see the possibility of a multi-party smooth transition?
Well, I think it's a must. I think it's an imperative. I think that there has to be a transformational model put in place, and that transformational model has to be inclusive. And the incoming president needs to understand that not only does he have access to incredibly talented internal human capital, externally as well. I've had the privilege of traveling to America, United Kingdom, Australia, New Zealand, Germany, and South Africa, Namibia, and Botswana. And in all those places, there is a huge consensus that Zimbabweans are extremely talented people, and they have an incredible work ethic. So this transformation has to be inclusive. And as I've said, Emmerson Mnangagwa has already displayed that is inclined towards an inclusive culture, not an exclusive culture like Robert Mugabe.
Now, Mnangagwa appears to be making all the right noises at this time. He's already reportedly engaged with the international community, including the World Bank, for Zimbabwe to be included back into the fold, and also called on Britain to extend certain offers and support that they have attached to it, calling it an old friend. What do you make of all of this?
Well, I think that, it's common sense. If this country has to be uplifted, if it has to stop being a pariah state, which it has long since become under Robert Mugabe, that is the route that he has to take. That is the option that he has to adopt. As I've said, now perhaps repeatedly, that he has to adopt an inclusive culture. This business of Tony Blair, keep your country and I'll keep mine, while you are begging the European courts to allow you to travel to England, is so nonsensical. So I've said that I think that Mnangagwa's indicated culture of inclusiveness regionally, continentally, and internationally is highly commendable.
The fields of agriculture.
And I hope that Zimbabwe will be Zimbabwe will be readmitted to the Commonwealth, and that targeted sanctions will be dropped, so that a new spirit of cooperation can be established between ourselves and the free world, led by the United Kingdom.
Now, we have seen land grabs that cause turmoil and instability in that country, Judge. The fields of agriculture and mining, do you think that they will be opened up again to the white community and international companies?
Well, if people are truly free, they will accept each other as equals under the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Zimbabwe is a multicultural, multi-ethnic community. It's made up of many tribes. It's also made up of white people. is made up of coloureds, Indians, Jews, Greeks, Portuguese, and if the right culture of freedom is embedded, we will get nation building, which we haven't had. And that will be part of the transformational process. And people can learn to go ahead, take the road towards a bright future together as a nation, not fragmented and divided in terms of the Mugabeism.
Judge, I thank you so much for your time and joining us on the newsroom.
And I thank you for